Hello, everyone. IMS welcomes you all to the webinar series, The B School Insider, all you need to know about your dream school. And I'm Kalyani, your host for this webinar. So today in the B School Insider, our topic is FMS Delhi, campus life, academics, and placements. So in this webinar, you will find out about the journey of the four panelists who have joined us from FMS, tips on PI and CAT prep, the ROI factor, which is very, very crucial, selection process at FMS, why choose FMS, and more. So to answer all these questions, we have our speakers today. We have Akshada Jagtap. She's PGP 2020, and she is area manager at GSK. We have Akash Chandani, PGP 2022. He is product manager at Geo. We have Srilata Udnala from PGP 2023 and K. Vittal from PGP 2023. Thank you so much and welcome all of you guys for this session. So let's start from your CAT score. So we'll talk a little bit about your CAT score, your CAT experience, how many months did you prepare? Was there anything specifically that you did to get success? Was there any particular section that was a bigger challenge for you guys? And also your background. Are you from engineering or non-engineering background? So yeah, we can start from Srilata, then we will go to Vittal, then Akash, and then Akshada. Yeah, Srilata.
Sure. Thank you, Kalyani, for inviting all of us, and good morning to everyone. So I'm Srilata, batch of 2023 FMS. So I graduated from NIT Pondicherry in 2018. I majored in EEE. So basically I'm an engineer. So post that I worked with L&T Constructions for about 34 months. Then I gave my CAT in the year 2020 and I got a 97.63 percentile. So I started preparing for CAT in the month of May because as I'm working in a construction industry, we do not have a holiday on Saturday. So usually I don't get much time to prepare. So that is why I started my preparation somewhat early. So what I have done, so I wanted to understand where I stand. So I started my preparation by giving a mock test. And so initially, so then I understand quant and DI was my strength. So I used to score centum in that, but I was very poor at VARC. So what I have done was till September, I used to prepare more for VARC. Like I used to read a lot of newspapers, solving more RCs, but I never neglected QA and DA as well. Because they are my score boosters, and from September onwards, regularly I used to give mocks. So here, one takeaway I would say to students is after giving a mock test, please analyze them, because then only you will understand where you went wrong and where you went right. And what I used to do after writing a mock, I used to analyze them for about 3 to 6 hours, depends on the difficult level. Then I used to jot down the points. And before moving to the next mock, I used to see them. And then only I used to write. So this really helped me a lot to minimize my mistakes. Like sometimes we do silly mistakes. So this way I prepared and I gave around 20 to 25 mocks very seriously and analyzed them.
Great. Yeah, Vittal.
Hi everyone, myself Kaliguttra Sai Sri Vittal. I'm a current student of FMS Delhi, batch of 2023, and my CAT score is 99.57. My a bit about myself. I'm a graduate from NIT Warangal. I majored in electronics and communication engineering. So I'm basically a gem. So FMS is a very special place for me because I first attempted CAT in 2019. What happened was I got 99s in quant and VARC, but LRDI was my Achilles heel and I got 55 percentile in it because I messed up so bad. Still, I got FMS call, but they did not conduct interviews due to COVID. And I left my preparation, everything till June. I had to pick up again in June in 2020. In November 2020, I had to give CAT again within that short span. I had to give my best. I worked so much on LRDA. Particularly, I unlocked the key that it's not the sets. This is for aspirants who are trying to score more. You have score boosters and you have your drawbacks sections. when it comes to your drawback sections, particularly most people will have VARC or LRDI as their drawbacks.
Mm.
I would say you focus on doing questions rather than sets. Trust me, I am at FMS. I completed my first year. Till that, I haven't solved one complete set of my LRDI CAT. I
Okay.
just solved questions.
Mm.
I solved probably 9 or 10 questions. I'm there. I got 97 percentile in LRDI. That's how uh, the performance matters. If you solve all the sets, you will not go it. I learned it the hard way after 1 year. So it's okay if you fail once. You can
Mm.
always try harder again.
Mm.
And after that, I came to FMS Delhi at last again. I landed where I am meant to be. And I recently interned with Disha.
Mm.
And yeah, that's about my
Yeah.
cat.
Cool. Yeah. We'll talk about the interviews and all in the next questions. Yeah. Akash.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, Kalyani, for introducing all of us. So, I am Akash Chandani. I hail from City of Lakes, Bhopal, and before giving CAT, like I have 4 years of work ex. So, I've been working with Cognizant, so it was tough. So, like I prepared for 2 years. First year, I took classroom from IMS,
Hmm.
and then second year test series. So, like preparing with the job, like we
Hmm.
used to come at evening, and then after that, preparing. So, what I will suggest, like the mocks, as Srilata and Vittal told about. So I scored 99.2 in CAT.
Hmm.
And as they told, like LRDI and VRC are the troublemakers. So, but like
Hmm.
LRDI, I scored 99.6.
Hmm.
But VARC, I used to struggle in every mock. And then I converted both IIM Lucknow and FMS. And I was in the dilemma. So ultimately, I choose FMS.
Okay, there is a
So,
question for you. I'll be asking in a bit. Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So, like as I told you about the mocks, so like if you see the IMS mocks, the way they are designed, they are the closest to the CAT, especially the verbal side, because I used to struggle a lot because in English I never like used to get above 97, 98 in mocks also, and this I used to cover through LRDI and Quant only. This was my strategy from start.
Hmm.
And so after 1 year, like in 2018, I scored 95 percentile, but I got colleges like baby IMS, etc. So
Hmm.
I prepared for one more year,
Hmm.
and then ultimately got these two colleges. I also got a from call from IIM Bangalore, but was unable to convert it.
Hmm.
So,
Okay.
so
Okay.
like with heavy
Yeah.
work ex also, this is on side. So like for us in FMS only that year, as Sai Vittal told, only the scores were considered, no interviews were conducted.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay.
Hi
Hmm.
everyone, hi Kalyani. Good morning all. My name is Akshada and I'm a pass out of 2020 batch from FMS. I'm from engineering background,
Hmm.
mechanical engineer from college in Mumbai University.
Hmm.
I have 1 year of work ex in a company called as Bosch.
Hmm.
And after that, after passing from FMS, I got an opportunity of interning at GSK, got a PPO, and now I've been part of GSK for 2 years now.
Yes. Yeah.
Currently, as an area business manager handling Mumbai area.
Hmm.
So anyway, talking about my CAT, how was my CAT preparation? What was my score? So I scored 98 percentile in my CAT.
Yeah.
Right. So I had two attempts for CAT.
Hmm.
The first time I took CAT was in 2017.
Hmm.
Uh, my strongest sections were VARC
Hmm.
and logical reasoning, not the DI part of it. And
Okay.
QA was okay. Okay.
Hmm.
In 2017, the paper was such that DILR was very tough.
Hmm.
And before that, for a couple of years, it was not that case. So when I saw my DILR, I lost all my hope, and I'm
Okay.
like, okay, this is the time I'm not able to crack CAT, and for QA, I did not have the heart to solve it, and so I landed on a lower percentile in my first attempt.
Okay.
In my first attempt, I had prepared for like 2 to 3 months post passing out from engineering. So that was about the first attempt. Then during the second attempt, I had all of this mental preparation. I had a lot of support from definitely IMS, professors to understand that how do you take the test, because the concepts. I am sure that whoever is preparing for CAT now, concepts are pretty okay in terms of understanding. What you need to know is having that mindset, and it's more about the test taking ability. And so when I took my cat in 2018, DILR, I think it, as expected, it was on a higher side in
Mm.
difficulty, but at that time I was prepared, and so I scored 98 percentile, and yes, I cracked FMS, and here am I now.
Yeah, great. Yeah, there's a question about would it be a problem to get into FMS with poor ACADS like 85 in 10th and 59 in 12th? Is 99.9 percentile a safe score to overcome this barrier for CAT? Yeah, Akshata, would you like to take it?
Yeah, so I don't know how is the system as of now, but when I was, appearing from for FMS at that point
Mm.
of time, definitely there is a weightage for academic,
Okay.
the academic
Shrilata,
performance.
yeah, Shrilata, can you tell us the
Uh,
recent, yeah, the latest?
Sure, Kalyani, as Akshada mentioned,
Mm.
yes, the total composite score is really matters rather
Mm.
than the individual scores of ACADS. But
Okay.
there is a point that 59 might be very less.
Uh,
But because there is a weightage given to 10th marks, inter marks, and even our graduation marks,
mm.
but that surely will not stop you to get into FMS. You do try hard and give the interview very well,
Mm.
so you still have a chance.
Okay. I mean, like, even what if, the person actually scores 99.9 percentile in CAT, and with this kind of a CAT, so the person does have a chance?
I'll give you
Uh,
the honest opinion,
Yeah.
Kalyani.
Yes.
So what
Okay,
happens
tell
is
us.
like FMS has a 75% cutoff.
Mm.
You, if you go past it, you'll get 10
Mm.
marks full. If
Mm.
you score less than 75, you'll get 5.
Okay, Vittal, thanks. Okay, the attendee who asked this question, I would just suggest that please speak to someone at IMS, one of the mentors at IMS, and I think you'll get a better picture and a clearer picture about it. Yeah, just
Yes,
don't.
Kalyani,
Yeah.
I would like to suggest like what
Mm.
bad can happen, right? He can prepare and get a good score because he can get some
Mm.
colleges through CAT
Yes,
percentile only.
absolutely.
So we should not worry about these
Mm.
questions. Many people ask these questions. I have this much
Correct.
percent. What should
Ah.
I do? Your main focus is CAT. First score good in that, then you can see what are the best options available.
I think, yeah, even the next question is also pretty much the same. It's again about a 77% at 10th and 62% at 12th, and graduating going on BA English. So yes, I mean, if you score well in CAT, there is a chance. If
Yes,
not
And
FMS,
unless
then
one more
something else.
thing, you
Yeah.
yes,
don't have to worry about your grad scores at
Mm.
FMS.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Only 10th and 12th matter.
Okay. Okay. So let's now talk about
I think
the
just
yeah.
to
Yes,
just to
Akshata.
add here, Kalyani. So I
Yeah.
think the person has BA English, so that is
Yes.
something
Yeah.
that's a diversity point.
Correct.
So
Mm, mm,
probably, yeah. I mean, definitely you should be trying as much as possible to score
yes.
as high as
Mm,
possible.
mm.
But then yeah, diversity might work for you.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, even today, we have all engineering people with engineering background on our panelists. So, I was going to ask you, like, for sections, like, you all spoke about, like, quant is like the easy one and everything else is kind of like, the struggles. But what if somebody is preparing for CAT and is from a non-engineering background? So then what do you think, should be their tips? I mean, any tips for such students? Which section and how to go about it.
yes,
Yes,
Kalyani.
Akash.
So
Yeah.
yes, the quant is all not about because we cannot solve all the questions.
Mm-hmm.
It's about leaving only means more
Okay.
than solving the question. The
Mm.
difficult questions, if you leave, you are able to succeed because
Okay.
the quant is like up to 10th level only. So all have studied. Like commerce people
Mm.
also study. So
Mm.
it's not a game of how difficult question you can solve. It's the matter like how many easy questions you are able to solve.
Okay. Let's talk about the interview, the PIs. So yeah. So Akshata, you can answer first. Please share your experience of the PI at FMS, and then Srilata, then Akash, and then Vittal. Yeah, Akshata.
Yeah, so during our time, we used to have a GD first.
Mm.
So during GD, it's your regular GD where a couple of people are together and you're given a topic.
Right.
Topic would be fairly easy, something that you can talk upon, and just regular. I think a GK sort of preparation should be enough
Okay.
to to have to excel at GD. Also have some some sort of practice or maybe mental preparation around when to actually pitch in during the GD, because that might be problem. Everyone is super competitive during GDs, so
Yeah.
trying to find a window and then putting your opinion would be an important skill to have. Post GD you will be going to PI, and in PI you would be facing a panel of like 2 to 3 professors from FMS, and it's at least for me, there are obviously for each person the interview would be different, but then for me it was more of an interaction to understand just where what has been my background, what am I aiming at, something about business finance, sort of just very general thing, and and somehow it went into philosophy side, so we had a sort of a long conversation around the philosophy, because that's where I think somehow they realize that I have my liking and preference towards that. So had a good conversation around philosophy, and yeah, done.
Okay. Yeah, Srilata.
Yes, Kalyani. So
Yeah.
I believe PI plays a really important role because though my CAT score is not on the highest side like my friends, 99 percentile, which is even the average percentile at FMS, I got because I believe my PI went very well. So it was online last year. It went about 25 to 30 minutes. So there were 3 sections. We did not have GD last time. Instead we had an extempore.
Yeah.
So basically based on your profile form, like whatever you have filled based on your interest. So they asked me a question on a book by Hitler. So I read a lot of books, so I was able to answer that well. Then they moved to current affairs. Seriously, they asked me many questions like what your opinion on the farmers protest or the COVID, how the government is tackling, and the budget. Recently, the budget will be released like when our B school interviews were happening. So I felt it's really important to have that context, and you'll get that only if you read news daily, not just the headlines. So I like advise people to have this reading habit. It will not only help you to crack BRC section, but also help you ace GDs. And then coming to my workex, they really asked a lot of questions on my workex. So it is for workex people. So mostly for freshers, they might be asked about your PORs, your interest, because for workex people there are many points to talk, but for freshers they may not have many points. So if you have to drive the interview, try to show them that you are interested in pursuing a hobby, or you did something at your college, and what is the impact that you have created, rather than telling this I have done. Tell them that this is you have achieved, this is the impact that I have created. So this way my interview went.
Okay, great. Yeah, Akash.
Yes, Kalyani. So as Shilata said, like the power verbs which we use in our CV or in our form, that really plays important. Like as I have been into WorkX, so I showed them how much revenue we saved by automating certain things because we were in IT, how much money we saved for clients. So that becomes a talking point. As I was in fintech, so mostly my interviews were going around that, like finance and technology and how fintech is evolving. So I read articles around it. So basically, you should be prepared anything which they ask. Like if you have organized a single fest which you have written, so you should have all the details, numbers like this much by 50% we increase the participation, etc. Or you are able to get some sponsors or some artists there. So basically, like preparing the news sections is also one of the most important things because they can ask random things, whichever happened. Like for me, in 1 or 2 interviews, like I have written, I'm passionate about cricket. So the full discussion was around cricket and how India is performing, etc. So it completely depends on you how you want to drive the interview. Even if you are answering a question which he asks, you can put your information forward and the conversation moves there. So you should be able to divert it. If you're not comfortable there, you should be able to divert. Like I'm also enthusiastic about stock markets. So I used to divert them there. Then they used to ask like which share we should buy, etc. So it becomes a fun conversation kind of thing and not a Q&A type of thing.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Vital. Very briefly. Yeah.
So like Srilata, for us, we had a first initial extempore, And basically, we had to fill the FMS application standard form before we get called. And after that, we had a discussion on my statement of purpose. And my extempore was the funniest thing. I prepared so many number of topics, but the topic, don't laugh, okay? This was a real situation for me. My topic was biryani without meat is no biryani at all.
Okay.
Can't even prepare for such sort of things. That was because I wrote cooking biryani in my form. So I would advise everyone who is aspiring for FMS to fill their form diligently and each and every word, because professors are not going to fix a topic for each and everybody. They'll just look at your form, give you a topic. So.
Yeah, great. Let's talk about the any particular thing that you would like to add? Akshita, would you like to answer this as in for profile building? If somebody is without work experience, what do they do for profile building for FMS? As in even to add talking points.
If you're a fresher, then I think it would be a good point to start finding out whether you've done any part of any group or headed any just anything that you can put and have a verifying point, because that is how it will be whenever you're building your CV as well, that you need to verify whatever you're putting in your whatever in your CV or in your forms. So just anything where you can demonstrate that you had certain leadership abilities, I think that should be enough. But in even though I think even for freshers, you don't have to really worry around if you're not having very glamour sort of profile. It's okay. Anywhere where you can show any just any instance, also even during your PI, if you can bring up any such instance where you had shown any leadership sort of quality, I think that should suffice for you.
Okay. All right. Great. Anybody would like to add anything to it? Then please do. Yeah.
Yes, like freshers, if they have good acads, then they can directly go to MBB. Even with a work ex, we do anything. But if you don't have the good acads, so it's quite tough. But if a fresher has having good academics, it is very much possible to get into great companies. And also, I think if they are able to do some internships, that will help, because more than the certifications in the interview, they appreciate if you have done any field work or live work.
Okay. Okay. So this we are talking about the FMS interview.
Yes.
Yeah, profile building. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's move to the next section, which is all about academics. So how about telling a little bit about what about the clubs and committees? So we will be talking a little bit about first, of course, what are the activities? I mean, how is your entire day planned at FMS? Like the study and fun activities, is there like a proper balance, or is it just like, you guys are only studying and no time to do anything else? Yeah, maybe, Shrilata and Vital, you guys can talk because you guys are right now current students. Akshada and Akash, I'll be asking more questions from the next section, which is all about placements and internship. Yeah, Shrilata, you can answer, and Vital, you can keep adding.
Sure.
Yeah.
So now coming to the fun activities and the academics. So we are the second batch of COVID. So our entire first year, the 2 semesters was online. So in the initial 3 months, the schedule was somewhat stringent due to ACADS and summer placement. But once our summer placement over, there were a lot of fun activities that we used to have. Like we had elections, then the results, then the rant sessions, the teachers, the birthday celebrations, everything was online. Yes, but we got used to it, and they were fun as well. Like when all 20 or 30 people come online, they used to sing songs, do some dance. So it was there. Now coming to the clubs and
society. Clubs and committees. Yes. And also tell us if you're a member of any clubs and committees.
Sure.
Or is it like a compulsory bit that you have to be you have to be part of one club at least, or one committee at least? Yeah.
Okay, Kalyan, I'll answer that. So at FMS, we have around 15 plus clubs and societies. Like we have content societies, and apart from that, we have sports club, the investment club, and the strategy labs, etc. So
Okay.
in my first year, I was very interested in stock market. So I applied for Alpha Investment and Research Club. So I got
Okay.
selected into that. So there I used to help seniors in enhancing the investment prospects by doing a quality research on industries. And in the second year, I was now an executive member of Strategy Labs, which is the consulting practice arm of FMS Delhi. So now coming to the point that is it mandatory? No, it's not mandatory at all. But people will have certain interest, and mostly for freshers, if they want to show like having a PWR, some might have do not have any PWR in their UG. So for them, it's a really good opportunity to get into this club and having that PWR. And other than that, if you're really interested and give back to the FMS community, you can be part of any club, and it's not that mandatory.
Okay. Vital, are you member of any club committee? Which one is
Yes.
that? Which one? Yeah.
As Srilata said, we have something called Management Student Association at FMS.
Okay.
It's the student body of FMS. We almost run every aspect related to student life apart from the academics. And there are various societies like content societies and cultural society. All the clubs and committees comes under the aegis of MSA.
Okay.
I am an executive member of Finance Society. I did not have any POR in the first year.
Okay.
I took up the responsibility this time. My society predominantly deals with the finance preparation and the finance. Like our mission is to encourage finance enthusiasm in the students in the community of FMS. And coming to the role of the responsibility, the seniors and juniors in MBA sort of have a symbiotic relationship. Till summers, we assist them. And after summers, when we are gearing up for our finals, they come into our shoes and they'll assist us. So FMS is a very vibrant place. And since you asked me to touch upon the academics, the standard, the generic, this is a general rule. 9 to 4 will be your academics. The schedule can vary depending on the availability of profs and guest faculty, all these things. But yeah, you have a relatively less because I've been to an IIM for a few days. I know how it feels, and I have so many friends at IIM. So if, till summers, FMS is hectic than any other IIM you can think of. But after summers, FMS will give you the chance and platform to explore yourself. If you if you want to learn something not related to your career, also that's fine, because FMS gives you that window of breathing space.
Okay. Akshita, any favorite class you've had? Any particular subject or a professor that you remember as in, was your favorite? Yeah.
I think so during first year, academics, frankly speaking, do take a backseat because you would be too much engrossed in preparing for your summer placements. And the first year is and attending a lot of guest lectures, and a lot of sessions are there. So first year is I personally, I felt I did not get that much opportunity to have that academic orientation. But then definitely during second year was the time when I enjoyed to my field the entire academic offering that FMS has has for us. So one professor, Professor Suneja, who takes up strategy, is currently the dean as well of FMS. So his lectures were amazing, and they were absolutely like case study based. We used to do multiple case studies, and when we were not doing case studies, we used to read research papers. So it was not a very textbook kind of rote learning, but then very different than what we could have experienced in our previous academic inclinations. Also, another Professor Harsh, he's from marketing. So his lectures used to be absolutely fun. Like around 3 hours of lecture used to just go in a jiffy, because completely it used to be around just interaction around a case study, and not learning like concept, just giving a concept on the face of it. But then while interacting and having that question and answer with your professor, you understand the concepts on your own. So really good academics, if you see.
Yeah. Srilata, any favorite? class or subject or professor
Yes.
so far? Yeah.
Yes, there are two. One is Professor Soma ma'am. She taught us economics. I really love that subject, and even though she's so strict, I really like her class at all. And then Professor Das, he taught us operations management.
Okay, Akash, any favorite class, professor?
Yes, so like we have for IT ML Singla sir, so he is very chill.
Okay, yeah, Vittal, any favorite?
Yeah, my favorite was organization behavior course
Okay.
taught by Kavita ma'am.
Mm.
She's so not knowledgeable that her own course has the textbook written by herself.
Okay.
And it was so fun. It was learning about yourself and how you affect others in an organization. And trust me, one of the major assignments of our internals was doing a movie review.
Okay.
That was a very fun course, how you explore yourself. That
Correct.
was my
Yeah.
favorite.
Very interesting. Yeah. Okay. But tell me, is there any, I mean, overall, people think FMS is known for marketing. So does that really, I mean, is that having any impact at all when it's placement? Akshada or Akash, you can answer.
Yes, so
Yeah.
with the changing times, I think according to marketing, the market dynamics, the scenario changes. It's not like 50% of
So
the
for the
batch is getting
placements, yeah. So
market.
the people
Yes,
know, like the companies that are coming on the at the campus, are they more? Is there like a more marketing sort of
no,
jobs that they're coming with, or is it also?
actually for this, so like we have a placement team, so they basically takes up the preference of the current batch
Okay.
according to their interest. The companies are lined up in such a way that most of the batch gets what they want. Like as
Okay.
Vittal told, he is interested in finance.
Yeah.
If like the majority of the batch is interested in marketing, they will try to bring more marketing companies.
Okay.
So it's completely batch oriented. Like if the batch wants it, they will bring those companies because of great brand name which FMS has. So all companies try to visit FMS
Correct.
because in the end, like there are many companies lined up also, which because all the students are placed, so they we have to say no to them.
Correct. Okay.
Because
Okay.
it all
Yeah.
basically
Akshada. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add to this, I think the perception that FMS is a marketing
Yeah.
campus comes from the fact that a lot of people who wanted to pursue marketing used to join, FMS, and that's why, as Akash mentioned, that what is the preference of majority batch? Those are the majority companies that would be coming on the campus.
Okay.
So yes, that used to happen, but I think with the changing times, we are seeing a lot of fin people, even the product management, that kind of roles are coming up.
Yeah.
And I think with the e-commerce section especially
Yes.
booming, again, that's a shift that I think we are seeing in the recruiters that are coming.
Okay. Yeah. Can okay, who will tell me the placement process? Akash, you can tell me the placement process at FMS briefly, and Akshada, you can add whatever you want to. Yeah. And then you
so
can also talk about your work at product as a product manager at Geo. So how did that happen?
sure.
Yeah.
And so when I joined, so like I was clear I wanted in the product management field. So I prepared before summers also. So in summers I got a chance to work as a product manager intern with Optum UHG. So
Okay.
that was a health tech client. So after that, after completing my summers in the finals also, I was prepared that I want to land up in the product management job. So like in the beginning, what exactly do you want to know about the placement process? Because there are a lot of nitty gritties
Yeah,
we
no, as
can't.
in, like the basic steps to placement process.
Okay,
Yeah.
so basic
Or
steps.
Akshada, if you want to take up the question, you can. Would you
No,
like
no,
to
I
answer?
can tell
Yeah.
you. Like
Okay. All right.
basically, like
Okay.
there is a time. So the applications open for various firms, and according to the response of the candidates, those companies, like according to the interest shown, like how many people have filled up for this particular company. So then we have for some companies we have rounds like a technical means this quantitative etc round for some companies, but mostly it is the interview rounds. So we have some bucketing which we have like for finance etc. So days are scheduled according to that. Maybe if Akshita wants to add.
Yeah,
Right.
Akshata, also tell me something. Is there any weightage of like? Is there any effect if somebody doesn't have a very good summer internship? Does that have any impact on the final placement?
Not much. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is what I feel because see, usually during the summer placement, so uh, what happens is the process is so, it tends to get a bit random
Okay.
because there are a lot of freshers that maybe there are not a lot of a clear cut inclination towards a particular domain in the first during the summer placement, because in the
Hmm.
first maybe couple of months people don't have that much clarity as to what domain they are preferring.
Hmm. Hmm.
So most often than not you might end up at a place or in a domain where you did not incline to, but then that is what the learning is, that you realize that okay, maybe this is a domain that that you prefer, or you don't. So it's okay even if your summer internship does not turn out well, because that gives you a learning about your preferences. And most during your final placement the summer internship is around, it's a talking point only. So
Okay.
even if you present it in that way that this is what it has been and this has been my learning and this is
Hmm.
why I am looking for a domain shift, I think it
Hmm.
gives a very good story as well.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, it doesn't matter whether your summer internship has been good or bad, but try
Okay.
to make most of it because you would be investing your time,
Correct.
and yeah, why not to
Hmm.
make the most of it. Also
Yeah.
in terms of placement process, just
Yes.
to add to
Hmm.
Akash's answer,
Yes. Yeah.
there are different processes for when I talk about the what the recruiters are looking for. So there
Hmm.
are different processes. Usually they have GDs. So from the GDs, that's where they use sort of for the elimination.
Hmm.
And then from GDs they would be selecting people for the PI.
Hmm.
So GDPI is one of the ways in which companies select. Another way in which companies select, this usually applies for say fin and consulting, and also the frontman roles, that they have cases. So
Okay. Hmm.
you will be having cases, maybe you will be having multiple round of cases and then followed by an interview with the partner or HR.
Okay.
So definitely there would be different sort of placement process depending on what all shortlist you would be having.
Akash, can you talk about your yeah, your placement experience with Geo?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
did
n-
was that were you placed with Geo in your
yes,
during your
no, I
placement?
yes, I was
Yeah.
placed in the so basically we have laterals and finals process
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
in the final. So because people with work ex are basically placed in a beforehand cycle, which is a lateral cycle. So
Hmm.
there is a limit in which 24 months of work ex or 12 months of work ex is required.
Hmm.
Then you will not get a shortlist if you are fresher. So basically freshers get placed in the finals
Yeah.
cycle. So
Okay.
I was placed initially in Geo. Geo was one of the first companies which
Hmm.
visited campus.
Hmm.
And so the interview rounds were like we had some technical rounds, and as I have the prior work ex in the IT industry, and also my summer experience was also in the product management intern, so it quite helped because they believed it that I was extremely aligned for the
Hmm.
role. And currently, like I have joined Geo 2 months back. I passed out this year only 2022.
Hmm.
So this was my experience. And one more thing I have to
Hmm.
mention, there is a committee called HR SOC. So like for summers, there are a lot of questions like why this company, why this domain. So they help us to prepare that because in summers, mostly there is it revolves around CV and HR discussion, but
Hmm.
in laterals and finals, there are a lot of technicalities involved because you also learn in 2 years what you've done in MBA,
Hmm.
and also like what was your summer experience.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the interviews are also quite of lengthy because in summers the duration is smaller, but in the
Yeah.
finals and laterals it becomes large.
Okay. There's a question about if you wanted to be product manager, then should we select operations management or other specialization? Akash, can you answer?
Yes, so
Yeah.
specialization means in FMS there is no strict rule if
Mm.
you want to select in any elective, but basically if you're majoring in IT, it will help because
Mm.
then you can show it to the interviewers that you're inclined towards information IT.
Mm.
And product management, basically, if you've done some internship, even in summer, if you don't get it, you can do live
Mm.
projects or any other internship to show
Mm.
your interest, like if you have in that field.
Okay. Okay. There's
Operations
yeah.
are
You want to say something?
different. Yes, operation
Yeah.
subjects are different. So nowadays, mostly product management category managers are going on. So IT is the subject I will tell them to choose.
Yeah, okay. We have a lot of questions about the same thing about, PI, how to, what were the kind of questions and all that. I think, yeah, we will also have the recording of the same session. So, you can actually listen to the ones, have joined maybe later. They don't know that you guys have already covered it pretty much in detail. But there are a few questions about one is, of course, a lot of questions about profile building, and then there are questions about, how did you prepare your VARC if VARC was a challenge. So Srilata, you can take that, and if DILR was a challenge, maybe Vital, you can take that. Yeah. So Srilata, can you answer if VARC is a challenge, and then Vital, yeah, for DILR.
Sure. Yes, it was really challenging, as I told you. Like,
and how many months do you need to prepare and all that? And okay, also, if somebody is starting the preparation, the CAT preparation now from this month, is there any hope for them? That was also a question there. Yeah. So maybe, okay, first you answer VARC, then DILR,
Sure.
and then that one.
Sure. I would like to say that really my scores in VRC was very less. Like initially they were terrible, but what I used to do, I used to read a lot of paper material. I mean, not the fiction novels or non-fiction novels, because the content that CAS used to give in the examination is very different. I mean, the passages are something like from politics, from literature, and social. So I used to read the newspaper every day and used to solve many RCs, like the reading comprehension passages. So that way I have prepared, because if at all I prepare in a day, maybe 4 hours, I used to give VRC 3 hours and then 1 hour for quant and EA, because I was that poor. But really, I'm telling you, if you do continuously reading newspaper and solving more RCs, and try to contact with your the tutor, whoever you are there, and tell them like this, in which area you are facing difficulty, whether you are taking more time to read an RC, else you are reading the RC but not able to comprehend, or you are having difficulty in selecting the summary questions or in verbal ability. So that is where I have prepared. Also, I used to watch the lectures by IMS. I mean, after writing a mock, they used to give us the video lectures of even the VARC. So it was very difficult in the initial stage, initial time, for me to have that much patience to listen to all the lectures. But after listening to maybe 3 to 4 weeks, I got used to it. And even in the last, my final attempt, my CAT score were improved to like some 60s percentile to some 92 or 93. So there is a chance of improvement. And the second question, if someone is starting the preparation now, I would say yes, still there is a lot of time is there. So if you are a fresher, try to utilize this time to prepare, and also find out which areas you are lacking. Try to put more focus on them, and also never neglect the areas which you already good at, because they are your score boosters. And for people who are working, try to focus more on the mock test, because if you do not have much time to go through the entire material, like exactly what is the syllabus from starting to ending, try to solve the previous year CAT papers. That really help us a lot. Like take some past 10 to 15 years CAT question papers. Seriously, you will do really good, and there is a plenty of time, so we don't need to worry about
that. Yeah, Vital, DILR.
Yeah.
What are the challenges? Yeah.
Before I go into DLR, I'd like to appreciate what Srilata said. I emphasize this for everybody who has a problem with VARC. 95% of the passages or things that come in VARC section are taken from excerpts that are meant for a larger audience, more larger than probably a book. They are taken from journals. They are written for an audience, and the CAT paper setter wants you to comprehend what they wrote.
Okay.
So it helps if you read a similar material. And coming to DLR, see, one thing I would say is in CAT, it's not what you know, it's how you do it, how you strategize what you do. So everybody will say one strategy is the golden rule. It might not be for you. That's what mock tests are for. Trust me, I had work for 8 to 10 hours a day, and I had to prepare for CAT. I had to forego all of my weekends. I had to give mocks, review them, and re-review them, and learn from them, make notes from them. It helps to take mocks, but predominantly what mocks are for is making mistakes, as
Yeah.
many as possible, because their mocks might cost you money, but if you it's they are you pay that money to, so that you can commit as many mistakes as possible in the mocks, so that you can learn from them, and actual CAT feels like a mock, a
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon mock
Okay.
you'll take.
How did you choose and why did you choose FMS over IIM Lucknow? If you can be very honest, as you've already been in the session. Yeah.
Yes, so I'm Lucknow is a really good college. It's not like it's among the top five. FMS also comes. So if you see like the one of the main reason was people, you will be seeing people leaving ABC and going to FMS. They will not go to I'm Lucknow,
Yeah.
right?
Why is that?
But you so that's why, because like the ROI factor comes in and
Correct.
you are getting the same
Mm.
similar level of company, similar preparation. Only one drawback is the campus life.
Mm.
But being in the COVID batch, so I
Yeah.
was easy out because
Yeah.
there is no campus life there also.
Mm.
So I would have chosen, but like the campus life was not there. But I'm glad I did not choose that,
Mm.
because when you complete those 2 years, you realize the ROI factor. And if you're getting all the same things, then why you can save 20 lakhs and buy a BMW, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Akshata, you've been there during normal times, and obviously, our hopefully all our attendees are going to be there at FMS in normal times. So why don't you just tell us why did you choose and how was your campus life? Because a lot of people say that okay, I'm A, B, C, L, they all have like huge campus and everything. And what about FMS? But of course, there is a whole thing. There is a different kind of freedom, I think, at
Yeah.
FMS. Yeah. Can you please talk about that? Yeah.
So definitely we don't have like campus as in the hostel. We don't have it. But then I think that is where the unique experience of FMS come from. Because if you talk with other, I think IM people, you would have similar kind of experience where they are living in campus. Uh, it's very similar when you're talking with majority of people. But then when you're talking with FMS people, you would realize that how they had a very different sort of 2 years experience, because
Mm,
they would be renting a flat, and then just doing all the adulting, paying your bills, your food, managing your food, having maids and whatnot. So I think that gives a very sort of different experience, especially for people, if freshers are there and they have not experienced this kind of living. I think a really good experience, and you don't feel like, I don't feel I missed out on anything just because I was not living in sort of hostel area. I Because uh, the the places where you live in, the places you rent around, they are around campus only, and
mm,
probably in your building there would be, you would be having people sharing flat with people who are from FMS, and
mm,
in your building or something you would be having multiple people from FMS. And in the campus around area also, you just go on for a walk from your place to your college, you'll find so many FMS people. So yeah,
mm,
it never felt like we are missing out on any of the hostel life. In fact, I preferred,
mm,
the flat life that I had. It was much more. It was much more luxurious, I'd say, rather than
mm,
hostel, which is, I have heard from my friends that it's
mm.
sort of struggle to stay in hostels.
But tell me, from okay, one in one answer, or like in one word, can you talk about why choose FMS? Of course, the fee is a huge thing, and of course, the kind of package that you get in the placement, that too. But apart from that, why is FMS still the most sought after, one of the most sought after B schools? Akash, can you give one line answer? Then Vittal, you can give one your reason, and Shilata your reason, Akshata your reason in one sentence. Yeah.
Yes, the two factors which you mentioned are the primary, and one more which I can assume. So,
Mm,
like as Vittal and Chilatra said, after summers in FMS, you have, as you live in Delhi, you can explore the mountains. You have
mm,
some leisure time with you,
mm,
while the academic rigor which you see in IIM ABCL is quite more than which you will see in FMS.
mm.
So, if you want to enjoy those 2 years, also you can.
Yeah. Okay. Vital,
Yeah, see,
why
the
did you
reason
choose?
I
Yeah.
feel
Hmm.
FMS is the probably the best place for me to be. I also left IIM Lucknow.
Hmm.
I I went there for a week or so, 2 weeks or so. I left that and came to FMS.
Hmm.
Probably because it builds resilience in management students,
Hmm.
and that's what managers are for. You are not going to be spoon fed while leading teams or doing projects.
Hmm.
FMS teaches you that resilience, and that's what companies look for as well.
Hmm.
And our PORs hold much more higher importance than when an administration takes care of all the necessities. But for us, we fend for ourselves and
Hmm.
still try to fulfill all our roles and responsibilities. I
Hmm.
think that really sets apart FMS from other B schools.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Shrilata?
Yes, so FMS is the oldest B school, even compared to Ahmedabad and Cal and
Hmm.
all.
Hmm.
So that was one reason. And next one is the alumni network that we have.
Hmm. Okay.
Really, it really holds very importance even in the further career.
Hmm.
And the strategic location, which is Delhi. Someone
Hmm.
from South, like me, I really wanted to explore North.
Okay.
So what
Hmm.
more good option I would get rather than
Hmm.
FMS Delhi? And then the ROI factor too.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
these four.
Yeah. Akshada, I think, yeah, it was probably the ROI factor. I guess that's the most, I think the most basic one and the most honest one, isn't it? Yeah,
So you
definitely.
need to
Yeah.
have a financial independence after
Mm,
you
of
graduate.
course, yes, exactly. And not being dragged down with a student loan.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm experiencing that in real time, because
Mm,
when look at other people from,
yeah.
IIMs and all, they're still, uh, they're giving hefty EMIs for completing their
Yeah.
student loan, while we are not really having
Mm.
any of the EMI burden, and we are free to have those good investment opportunities right
Okay.
away.
Okay. There's a question for Akshada and Akash. Please talk about the packages. How much money are you guys making? Yeah. Sanket, you can probably find them on LinkedIn and then ask them these questions. They'll be happy to answer, I'm sure. Sure.
So for quants, my suggestion is that you need to attend all the lectures of quantitative aptitude. I'm sure all of these are from IMS only, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
try to attend all of these lectures diligently with 100% of your focus, and whatever those there would be these booklets, right? So
Mm.
try to solve all of these questions. They usually do it in the classroom itself. If you have any doubt, get them solved right then and there or after the lecture. So that's
Mm.
the first step, that
Okay.
solve all the questions from the booklets that they have provided and attend all the lectures.
Mm.
Now the second step would be, there would be given those huge sort of booklets, like I think part one, part two, as per the difficulty or something. So try to go through as much as you can, leaving some very easier topics
Mm.
on the, like say permutation combination is there. So pick up those topics where you need to practice.
Mm.
Also, another thing would be that I'm not sure how the online platform is as of now, but then during our time there used to be three difficulty levels like
Mm.
CAT.
Mm.
And so try to figure out, first obviously you would be taking mock of quantitative aptitude. If you're preparing for quantitative aptitude, start from taking a mock, then figure out which are those areas where you really need to work upon.
Mm.
Now for those areas, you solve those A sort of the application sort of questions. In
Mm.
the areas where you have no idea as to, especially if you're from a non-engineering background, start from the C, the concept sort of questions, and ensure that each day you're solving a good amount of questions, so that it becomes a practice, it becomes sort of a reflex for you.
Mm.
And then definitely you'd be going to a higher side, solve as many quant, especially if you want to focus on the quant side, solve as many quant mocks as possible, and after solving them, do give lots and lots of time to analyze them. And definitely other test taking skills, that which questions you would be doing, which questions you would be leaving.
Mm.
I'm sure this is the trick you all would the professors would be telling you, that have multiple rounds whenever you're solving quantitative
Mm.
aptitude
Mm.
paper. You have a
Mm.
round one, see if you can solve anything orally, then have a round two, a bit of calculation, then a round three.
Mm.
That works for most of the cases. And also, just to answer questions around how do you do the calculations
Mm.
orally,
Mm.
There are many apps around calculation, so just have those apps around and do those oral calculation each day. It will require some amount of consistent practice and discipline, but if you do it each day, you might not some people have this innate ability where they are, fast at calculations and all, but it can be acquired with a certain amount of discipline and consistency.
Okay. All right, guys. Okay, we have very little time, like maybe 5 minutes. And since you guys were all talking about the campus, we would really like to see one or two, maybe three photos max of the campus. Akshata, can you show a few if you have, or Akash, either of the two? Akshata.
Yeah,
Yes,
let
I
Yeah.
think
Akash start. I'll just
Yeah.
try sharing my screen
Mm.
later on. Yeah.
Okay, and while Akshata is setting up, Akash, can you talk about how to improve EARC? Maybe tips like, okay, this is what I did and this is what you should do. So something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Is for me, so I practice this like because RC is the main section. Like
Hmm.
maximum questions are reading comprehension. So
Hmm.
like more than speed, it's the accuracy which I believe. Like attempting many questions will not help. It
Hmm.
the how much accuracy in English you have,
Hmm.
because it's not about speed. It's about speed in quant section, but not in the VARC section.
Hmm.
So what I'd suggest is analyze and try to solve questions. Because there are different types of questions in the RC. So
Hmm.
basically, try to do is the fact-based questions, and then inference-based questions are the more trickiest one. So if you're
Hmm.
not sure, you can avoid the negative marks.
Oh,
And
okay.
solving as many mocks will help. This was the strategy for me at least.
Hmm.
Can you see?
Yeah, we can.
So that's the
So that's
great.
the
I think it's changed a bit now.
yeah.
I
It's a
don't have
lot
a
of
lot of
graffiti on the back on the
yeah,
walls.
that's how the DU. Yes.
Yeah.
This is the literary club that I was talking about. So
Hmm.
we are discussing around something.
Hmm.
Uh, Again, the photo from same. I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of around the campus
That's fine.
photos.
Yeah, but yeah, so this is how
This is about the Ganpati festival. So we celebrate a lot of festivals
Yeah.
at campus
Hmm.
from
Somebody
all
is
the
asking
participants.
if there's a canteen photo.
No, I don't have a canteen photo. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay.
This is the hall B, I guess.
But what all food do you get in the canteen? Everything?
I don't know how is it as of now, but
Yeah. Maybe yeah, Akash, do you have any idea? And
Yes,
Srilata, yeah, you guys are there right now.
yes, maybe Vittal and Srilata can
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
Srilata.
not all
Hmm.
foods, but yeah, you can have some.
Hmm.
But DU has so many stalls.
Hmm.
You need not just depend upon FMS.
yeah,
Right.
so I think hardly people don't use canteen that much. You would be using it in your first year when you're rushing through a lot of
Right.
things. But
Hmm.
apart from that, if you want to eat, even during breaks, we used to go outside, and there are a lot of outlets,
Right.
KFC,
Hmm.
McD,
Hmm.
so many
Hmm.
outlets, and a lot of stalls as well. So
Hmm.
you know, lot of
Yeah.
stalls, sandwich,
Yeah.
etc., just
Delhi's
around the
street
Right.
campus, which you
Yeah.
can explore.
Hmm.
And for dinner as well, so many places to explore. You'll get, you won't ever get tired of exploring places around.
Yeah.
And
Any other
yeah,
photos?
that's the batch, I
Is
think.
there any foreign students as well? I mean, is there any international exchange students and all that at
Yes, yes,
FMS? Yeah.
yes, Kalyani. We have a few.
Okay. Akash, you can show your photos and you can also answer while while you were
Yes.
showing the
So we have
photos.
few. I think
Hmm.
Srilata or Vittal can share more images because we have now renovated FMS.
Okay. Srilata
They
and
have.
Vittal really don't have much because
Okay.
because they're just
I
So you
have
are
a
going to
video
show.
if
studying.
I'd like to show just walking into the campus,
Okay,
how it feels.
you can show
Not
it. Okay, you can try and show it. Yeah, okay. I'm
it's
not too
not
sure.
mine, it's my friends. Okay, so
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Ah,
this
nice. Hmm.
is how
Sure.
it feels.
Okay.
It's very
That's
close.
the campus. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the entrance.
Uh, sorry, it had
Yeah.
this is our Singla sir,
Huh.
as Akash talked about. He's very endearing.
Hmm.
Yeah,
This is Harshvardhan.
yeah. These,
Also, you'll
I'm
find
sorry,
lot of
it's
jobs.
So,
very,
guys, do you have like, back-to-back classes? Since, you have classes till 4?
Yes,
sometimes,
only
yeah,
lunch
but
break.
depends
Yeah.
on the timetable as well.
Okay.
This
So
is the
that's the
top
roof,
of
is
the
it?
building, top of
Okay,
FMS.
but where do people party usually? Is it always like, they just go out of the campus, or within the campus? Is there anything as in
No,
other
no,
than,
there is no
okay, there's
party
no
place.
space.
This is
Okay.
the MSA room.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I said the student body room. This is
Hmm.
the MSA room. This is the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, yeah.
Yeah, every year the section which we have something called a section awards thing. The
Okay.
section which wins the best title gets featured over here, and
Hmm.
any sports trophies that we have with other B schools like XLRI. Those
Hey, can students just like from other campus, as in from the Delhi campus, can they just walk in and have a
no,
look inside FMS? No, are they
not
allowed?
not
On
officially, but
expression
yeah,
Okay.
they
request.
can just
No, not. I mean, officially
yeah,
you can't. Is it?
yeah.
Okay. 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 And how's the library and everything?
Uh, it's
Yes, it's only
If you guys have visited the library, that is.
Yes, yes,
yeah,
we
this
had a
is where it's going to be. Yeah,
yes,
this is the library.
library.
Okay. Okay. This is the library. Hmm. Okay.
That's about it.
Mm. All right. Okay. Yeah. I would like to, before we leave, I would like to thank our speakers. Thank you, Akshada Jagtap. Thank you, K. Vittal. Thank you, Srilata. And thank you, Akash Chandani. Thank you so much for being here for this session. Thank you for all the insights on
thank you,
FMS.
Thank
Kalyani,
you.
for being a nice host.
Thank you, Kalyani. Thank you, IMS, for this
Thank you,
opportunity.
IMS.
Thank you, Kalyani, and thank you all for attending this. Hope it helped.